Have you always been like this? If you're talking about my physical ability or physical self, I was born able-bodied. I had both legs. I lost my leg to cancer when I was 29. That's when I had an amputation. Ever since then, I've been an amputee.
The answer is yes. I was born with cerebral palsy. It basically affects mostly my upper and lower limbs. That's why I use a wheelchair. The first day of primary school or primary school orientation, when my parents brought me to a school with my chair, and everyone was literally staring at me. And I realized then that there might be something amiss with me. I actually turned to my mom and asked, "Mommy, why are they staring at me? What's wrong? Did I do something to my face?"
Have I always been like this? No, I haven't always been like this. In fact, I became visually impaired just a few months before my 19th birthday. I was playing football and the ball actually hit my face, in fact, right smack in the middle. Upon impact, I actually bleed from both of my eyes. I didn't think too much about it until a year later, where my left eye, the vision started to deteriorate, and went for the surgery. Following the last surgery I had on my right eye, the left eye, the vision started to deteriorate again. And the surgeon told me it was, again, retinal detachment. I didn't do anything about it at all, because if it was unsuccessful, I will become blind immediately. So I didn't go for it. So, but if I just leave it be, then the vision will slowly deteriorate. So I just opt for the latter.
So I have a genetic condition called aniridia. So it's because both my parents are blind and I inherited it. Aniridia is where you have a malformed or you have no iris, which means it cannot control your eye pressure, light intake, or eye movement very well. I think I was in denial only when I got diagnosed with glaucoma. That was when I was 17. So because once I got diagnosed, I had to start taking eye drops and other medications and stuff. It kind of hit me right then, because it signifies a change. Like, you can no longer just do what you have been doing. You need to depend on something else, and it's just for maintenance. It's not even like to cure you. Will probably eventually go totally blind lah. Yeah.
Did I experience any discrimination for my disabilities? Whew, wow. This
Where do you begin?
where do I begin from this, man? Basically, me and my friend, I trained as a brother. To go to our training, we were exchanging line from downtown line to circle line. And obviously, the two of us, we are blind. We rely on the tactile markers to help us navigate. Following the tactile marker, someone tripped over my cane, and I can understand because, blind people cannot see each other. So the person came up to my face and shouted at me, "Are you blind or not?" Yep. For me, I was trying to be funny. I just show the person my cane. And I asked her, "Hey, what do you think?"
So to add on to what Hidayah was saying, yes, I mean, I did come across that kind of funny situation, the "hey, you blind ah," but like when they ask, "hey, you blind," then I'll start saying, "oh yes, I'm blind," because blindness is a spectrum. It's not all totally blind. Not all blind people hold canes or have guide dogs or what. So people usually are more like they feel more awkward like if you start explaining to them, because like they meant it like sarcastically. Yeah, but I guess the main form of discrimination is more systemic, I guess, because even when things like buses, only now did they start to kind of like announce the bus stop now, the bus stops in the bus, and most of it still don't have. It's just a few only. In places like Taiwan, I think they actually like say where the escalator is, whether it's going up or down, that kind of thing. But here it's like because you know you tell by the light, right, or whether the thing is going up or down. Sometimes you must try and error, or you go to one field. If it's going up, then you know. If it's coming down, then you must go the other escalator, that kind of stuff. I would say for a developed country, no, we are not very inclusive yet.
I think we are getting there, but we are still stuck in the charity model. But I think Singapore has to realize, or society has to realize that disabled people have rights. I think people have this mindset that if you have a certain disability, you have to do a certain job, you cannot do other jobs outside of what they think you can do. For example, when I was with a friend at a certain food court, and this old uncle who was a cleaner there, he was like, "Oh, she speaks very well. Why don't you ask her to go and do some IT job? You know, those IT jobs are for the disabled, very good, you know." So I was like, in the first place, I don't like IT. IT is not my thing. I'm a tech bimbo. So in society today, people fail to ask the question of, what do you guys want? It's like more like you must be grateful for what we give you, because we know that you have this situation and we are being very nice, and that's what you have to take. But actually, if you ask us what we want to do, I don't think people actually ask what we want to do.
What is the worst thing someone said to you about your disability? Okay, that's a good one. So I just got my driving license. I rented a car, okay, a private car from a private owner. And I actually, when driving over some time, I actually hit the side of the door, inexperienced driver I was, side of the door against a pillar. When I returned the car, she was so upset. She said actually in her own words, "I pray to God that you will lose your other leg." She actually said that. I couldn't believe that, but she actually said that. How can somebody pray to God for somebody else to lose a leg? Even if you pray to God hard enough, God will not allow it to happen.
The words that people say to me, I guess tongkat lai liao.
Okay.
I try to respond in a sarcastic manner as well, you know. I just shouted, yeah, my kid have legs, come ready, come. And after I followed by I laugh at the person.
It's quite funny because sometimes it's not just me, but people have accused my parents of pretending to be blind. It's like, oh, okay, sure, yes. I wish I was pretending to have a visual impairment, but no.
Secondary school classmate, the comment that came out of her mouth was, "How are you gonna make out like with a guy? How are you gonna have sex?" So at that time, I did not know how to hold myself up. So I just kept very silent. And at that time, I was still very sheltered by my parents. Honestly, when I came home, I asked to be locked in my room for 3 hours. For the 3 hours, I was just crying. Maybe that was the first time that I realized that people would really see me very differently, especially males. As to how I came out of it, I think time just heals all wounds, and now I have reached a level of acceptance over the things that I can't change about myself, and I've learned that my condition is just part of me. It doesn't make me who I am.
People give me negative comments about my disability. It doesn't bother me actually, really. It doesn't bother me. It bothers more the person who's next to me or with me. You know, why is he looking at my family, my husband or my father or my friend this way? But I'm thankful because I look around, I'm fitter than most people, even my classmates. They always envy, how come you look so fit and all that, you know what I mean? In bodybuilding, even without my leg, I do the same exercises that an able-bodied person can do, lift weights and all that. So you take life the way it's presented to you and you do the best you can with it. Do you feel less of a person? Do I feel less of a person? I feel less of a person physically. I can't run, that's one thing. I can't pick up food from myself. I serve myself from a buffet table. Those are some. I can't use an umbrella in the rain because both my hands are with crutches. In terms of love and romance, for me, I fell in love with someone even before I lost my leg. My tumor was present at that time. The family could see it. I was in a pretty bad shape. I didn't have confidence myself also whether I would recover because I didn't know what was in store for me. So I think at that point that maybe she deserved a better life. I had a change in perspective in our relationship when she kept coming to visit me, and then one day she decided that she knew someone who I can go for some kind of traditional treatment. That person sort of spoke a few words of wisdom. So that's when I broke down and said, okay, I'll marry you.
Do I feel less of a person? No leh. I don't feel less of a person at all. In fact, I think I feel more like a person.
How so?
How so? Okay, when I can still see, I don't really want to explore, want to try out new things. For me, just get day to day, just get by day to day. After accident, right now, I just try out new things. Anything new that catch my interest, I will try out. How about you? Do you feel less of a person now?
Now at the moment, no. But I used to sometimes. I think when I was in Sec 3 or something, so we had this test lah. Then I think it was my social studies teacher. She was berating the whole class because apparently we didn't do so well. I think at that point in time I got the highest grade, so I didn't know that yet. But in the end she was like, "Oh, if Jung can do, then why y'all cannot?" That kind of thing. So it's huh? So that means I'm the baseline so if I can do insert thing here, then everyone can. It kind of didn't sit well with me. I knew she meant well, but yeah, when I went back to think about it, I was like, something didn't feel very right. Some comments that people make, even though they mean well, sometimes make me feel a bit of lesser of a person.
Do I feel pressured to be inspirational? It depends on the situation. But honestly, personally, I hate the inspirational porn thing. They use me as a gauge and they expect me to be high on all the time and happy all the time and, oh, you're so brave, you're so whatever. I'm like, no, I know you think I'm an angel, but I'm not. I'm just living my life. I consider myself a freelance artist and performer, and this is what I do to get, to support myself.
I was just adding more unnecessary burden to myself. So I just do what I can. Right now I'm doing theatre performing, and I really best my abilities lah. Just try it, because you will never know whether you'll be successful or not.
For the last 8 or so years, I've been working as a personal trainer. I train other fit and unfit people, disabled as well as able-bodied. I've also in 2015 joined the national team as a powerlifter. If they are inspired or motivated by watching and seeing what I can do myself, then I'm all for it. But that's not my intention, never my intention. I'm just leading my own life actually.
I'm the main facilitator for a program called Control Your Controllables. So we do programs, resilience program. There are some tools that you can learn to kind of be more resilient through the game of Go Ball. So I would kind of equate inspiration to the starting whistle of a game. It's not very important in the whole scheme of things. If you choose to do nothing after you hear that whistle, you just stand there and allow people to score or what. Nothing's gonna change, and in fact, you're probably gonna lose a few goals. But after you hear that whistle, you try to like maybe apply a strategy, or you try to do something that you haven't done before to score, then you will improve ma. So it's like what you do after you are inspired that's very important.
What about these abilities that do you want to convey to public? A line that I heard from my friend who shared me this line is that I am disabled but not unable. So do not judge someone by what disability they have, but judge someone by by their abilities.
I know that for a fact that disabled people mostly would not insist on being treated better. Would not insist, right? They want to be treated as they are actually.
Don't automatically assume like, oh, this person very poor thing, or please think about your thoughts or what you say to the person. Don't always assume that people with disabilities or disabled people need something from you. What they need is your understanding, and we are all human just like you.
Come have a conversation, like talk to me, understand where I'm coming from, and I would like to understand where you are coming from. If everyone understood each other better, we may be able to make the place, the environment somewhere where there are no disabilities, just impairments lor. Yeah.
Hi guys, we hope this episode has been refreshing for you. If you're also interested to know more about physical disability and intimacy, tune in to episode 40 of Something Private, our sister podcast. To show greater support for inclusion of people with disability, remember to check out these two other events in our description as well. Enjoying our series? You can watch more Can Ask Me episodes on our playlist over here. Click on the bell icon to be notified of our latest release episode